太陽の権威に挑むの。いいよ。相手してあげる。
Hello people and welcome back to news review. For this week's news, finally, we have the news for the new black gold card Atum. As usual, it's 200 diamonds and the seal will be open on the 3rd of April. This black gold will be a light machina. A leader skill, you can have all types of members in the team. When the team has 3 or more races, you get an additional attack and recovery boost. I'll talk about why this is slightly contradictory a bit later. Dissolving fire, you get team attack times 2.2 additionally, damage reduction of 40%, and combo count plus 6. And by dissolving light, unit attack times 2.2 again, and the character launches 1 extra fire attack. For its team skill, it can activate only by itself, being that you can choose your ally to be anyone. You get 5 seconds of boost movement time. Everything has the effect of fire and light have the effect of everything. At the beginning and end of each round, modify all runestones to become race runestones of the member's race in each column. Machina, Beast, Dragon, and God runestones have the effect of each other. And for every 10 runestones dissolved, deal a non-attributive damage of 10 million to all enemies before attacks, to the max of 90 million for 90 runestones dissolved. Damage will be dealt regardless of green-red vortex, which is the one where it says go and stop at these specific positions. Ignore burning and ignore scorching areas. The team has a protective shield of 50k that can overblock, meaning once again that if you have any points at all, then you can tank damage that is higher than the amount that your shield has. And then after that, the shield becomes 0, but when your shield becomes 0, it'll automatically replenish to full at the end of the round, at most 5 times in every battle, at least for the team skill. You can refresh it through other means such as active skills. After dissolving runestones, the first batch will be dropped will be enchanted fire runestones, and the second batch to be dropped will be enchanted light runestones, and finally ignore fixed combo and equal combo shield. This is pretty good inbuilt shield solving abilities. One disadvantage is that it doesn't ignore sticky, and it is kind of easy to find like a bad stage. For example, if you can't dissolve fire or you can't dissolve light like at all, not first batch, but you just can't, then you'll lose it on a lot of damage. If you encounter enclosed areas, you'll lose it on a lot of damage because you don't get that sky drop, and potentially if you can't dissolve fire or light, you lose out on like a lot of the multipliers that the leader skill has. The other thing is that this leader can't really do. You can technically get away with a mono machina setup that is valid, but you lose out on attack and recovery, which isn't the worst thing in the world because you don't lose out on HP. But it's still slightly weird that. Well, it's not slightly weird. It's just like, you know, kind of contradictory design that you need to have 3 or more races in the team to get the maximum attack multipliers. So if you're looking for a machina leader, this is kind of it. As in, it'll probably be better than like the machina leaders that you have right now. However, like it's not really meant to be a machina leader. However, very contradictorily, it has a team skill with the Machina Light Pyramid, which is ongoing right now, where they will both get CD -6 and plus half of your fuel after entering the stage. No stat boost here, which is slightly understandable because you don't want to, you know, tie down the black gold card to a random event card for stat boosts. And as always, well, not as always, as a lot of the time, this black gold also has a self team skill where it just has to be in the team for it to work. By dissolving 30 or more fire or light runestones in total, when it attacks, ignite the enemies for 3 rounds to deal a fire damage of 1,500 times the attack basic value of Atum. And Atum's damage dealt to ignited enemies will be times 3 additionally. So the way this kind of works is you want the team's damage will be skewed towards like leader and ally, or I guess Atum and not ally if you don't have Atum as your ally. For active at CD6, remove the board to generate a fixed board of enchanted Machina Fire and Light runestones. This board is pretty good it has some crosses inbuilt into it, and you can spin for 3 crosses. It is very easy to spin for 2 crosses. Change the state of the character from fatigue and hypnotize into hyper. Machina's enter or stay in a hyper state for 2 rounds. I believe this is just for herself. However, this is still really good because I believe this is actually for like every character. So you can just change fatigue and hypnotize into like the same amount of rounds that is hyper, and then Machina's also enter or stay in a hyper state for an additional 2 rounds on top of that. And then for 1 round, Machina damage ignores duet, trio, quartet, and quintet elemental shield, and also runestone combo nullifying. If leader is Atum, the protective shield will be lowered to 1 point, and add 50% the deducted points to the attack basic value of Atum, which is where the concentrated attack on Atum comes in even more handy, because then she just like hits for like a billion damage. Finally, we also have the bonding skill, which is with Pyramid, and it's when her character runestone is triggered and it's not dissolved on the first batch, her skill CD -1, just enabling this to basically be a CD3 if you like use the character runestone every single round. And finally, there is the Dragonware that accompanies the Black Golds nowadays. This is a Machina exclusive Dragonware. The first skill, when light and fire runestones are dissolved in the same round, character attack times 1.8, and by dissolving 25 or more runestones, the character attack times 1.6. This adds up to a lot, especially if you put this. Well, it was designed for Atum, right? So you put this on Atum, she just gets so many damage multipliers on herself. And finally, if the character is Machina, HP basic value times 1.1. Very nice. For the actual craft skills, there is a puzzle shield ignoring, so that's kind of good. I put this leader in between 200 and 175 diamonds because I think this is a good card, but I think there are ways that she can get easily countered. For example, she has a weakness against if you can't dissolve like fire or light runestones, that can get sort of messy. If they're sticky in the stage, you got to bring a member for that. But you know, there is shield solving there, and it is pretty good to have a wide kind of roster of members, even if it is slightly restrictive in that you need to have 3 or more races. So I think this is still a good card to pull for, however not the absolute max power I think you can get for 200 diamonds. Moving on to the free cards, here we have a new ultimate stage of Imhotep, a fire god, CD6 for 1 round. Fire members and gods ignore puzzle shield. Extend rune movement time by 10 seconds, ignore sticky, and every time a sticky position is touched, you recover 10% of your HP, and when the character attacks, venom the enemy with a non-attributed damage of whatever. This card is the third ever fire god card to ignore puzzle shield, and the first ever to venom the enemy, as shown here. There are 2 other fire gods in the past that can ignore puzzle shield, one being the newly buffed Egyptian whatever the series card is from, and Mana from Monster Strike. The other card is Crystal Dragon, a water dragon, CD7. Modify the board to become dragon runestones, and for 1 round according to the number of dragon runestones dissolved in the first batch, combo count increases proportional to the amount of dragon runestones you have dissolved. And if the team has only dragons, for 2 rounds you get a willpower effect. I get one just in case, I say, because, you know, it's fine, but it's not anything that special, unless you need to get like over 30 combos, which is rare, but does happen. And also a challenge mission card, a light beast, CD7, Fathia, explode weather runestones and petrified runestones, petrify all enemies for 2 rounds, and if an enemy's attack is greater than team total HP, petrify the enemy for 2 rounds to inactivate it. I think this is an additional 2 rounds probably. And then while the effect is in play, runestone will not be stopped when a tornado is touched. Fathia is the first ever real light beast to petrify the enemy. If you go search it, it will say Corrupted Fenrir also does this, but Corrupted Fenrir needs the leader to be some form of Fenrir as well to activate that petrified effect. So that's why it's not really a real light beast petrification card. There will also be a new game mode of Dragonhearted Croft, which they spelt wrong. Wow, that's pretty funny. But this will not be a like draconic compulsion that you do in battle. I think this will just be like a new side mode mini game sort of thing. Moving on to the celebration events. As I said, there's a new ultimate stage. There's also the returning ultimate stage of Valanth. This card kind of sucks. It's a water elf that is basically just in a stat boost for attack, but with no extra effects. Nowadays, you can't really get away with cards that just have an attack boost. So not really a good card. Get one anyway, right? The Diamond Seal event will be opening on the 3rd of April and closing on 16th of April. If you're waiting for collabs, people say collabs, you know, will be the new collab will be the next thing after this. I'm not quite sure if that's true. No official info, but that's just speculation. Personally, I don't know if I'll be pulling for this black gold card, because in my mind, it's this black gold, all black golds, unless the ones that have like specifically been designed for achievements. This is not one of them. This is just generally a really good leader, and if you have all the achievement leaders, then you don't need the general power leader, and in a sense, if you have the general power leader, you don't need all the other leaders. So yeah, Machinas are in a bit of a bad spot right now though, as in there's no good leader. I know there's like, I think Ali just came out. He's also light Machina, but yeah, the Dragonware is good though, so I'll consider it for the Dragonware. I think that will be it. Yep, the challenge mission, and here's some more info about the game mode that they spelled correctly this time. Wow, the Dragonhearted Croft game mode. The rewards in here aren't really that good. You get like 600 dragon ores. Yeah, no, that's really not good. Well, apart from that, there's also the other ongoing events. They'll just keep going. That'll be it for this video. If you liked, please leave a like. If you have any questions, leave down in the comments down below. And if you like in general, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!